Roma, yo, can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
All right, here we go. Now we are live and everything is looking great. I just made sure everything is working out to be perfect, so no technical problems. And ladies and gentlemen, we are live again, man. I'm back. I'm so glad to be back. It's Friday night. I've been looking forward for this for a long time now, and I'm so honored and I'm so happy to have my good friend, somebody that I've known for so long, and only found out that she was a gamer literally a few months ago. Like she's been hiding that from me for so long. But you know what? I'm glad that she told me because it's an absolute honor to have her with me on this stream, talking about one of the most important things in the gaming universe, which is girl gamers. So, a big shout out to girl gamers. So I wanted to do this thing. Every single time I have a girl gamer on the show, where if I'm for example, if I'm playing a game and there's a girl gamer appears, I just want to do this. That's it. I just want to give a special shout out to all girl gamers out there. So, Rohma Saddaqat, girl gamer from Pakistan. Thank you so much for being here. Dude, like you made it. We're done. That's it.
Yeah, finally. It's been a long time in the making, long time
Oh,
coming as well.
yeah, man. Yeah, it has been. It has been. Roma, there's so much I want to talk to you about. There's so much I want to go over with you. But listen, just before we get into it, um, I want everybody to get to know who you are. Listen, I know you. You're an awesome person. I love your energy. I love your aura, and I want people to get to know you. So just tell us about yourself a little bit.
Okay, starting with the tough questions.
you, you,
We should have prepared an introduction.
have you ever been in one of those interviews? I think that's like one of the most challenging things for me in an interview, in a job interview. They always
Hmm.
tell you talk about yourself. For the
Right.
last 10 years, in my
Hmm.
experience, I've always prepared myself for that question. I just tell them, listen, I'm a Palestinian Canadian kid, and I've always been
Hmm.
passionate about communicating with people, talking to people, connecting with people, giving content that really matters. Because if I believe in something, I can easily sell it. I've always been in entertainment. I've been a massive music fan, so I like to perform. So I developed that love and that passion to connect with people and give to people and so on. So I just summarize it like that. So
Hmm.
I was trying to make myself feel ready.
Right, right. Well, here's the thing. Normally, if you ask me, my job means that I'm actually the one doing the interviews. So since since I'm a reporter, normally I'm on the other side of this equation. So I always tell people, okay, so brief introduction first. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the tough questions. So this is a very, very different change for me. But I'll take a little leaf out of your book and say that I am a Pakistani who is living in the UAE, and I've lived in the UAE for, I would say, more than 25 years now. So the UAE is home, specifically Sharjah. And yes, I am a gamer also. And this is something that me and my friends have come up with. I am a gamer who is a person of determination. And I'm also a journalist who is a person of determination. So throwing this out there. There we go.
Listen, I remember right before we got onto the stream, I said, "Listen, we're gonna talk about everything. You okay with that?" You said, "Yes, you're okay with that." Your story, for me personally, your story is inspiring. Like what you went through and how you sort of just talk about the obvious. Like, yeah, this is what I have. I'm born that way, and I'm happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right, right.
and you're not too shy to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like was that something that you've developed over time, or were you just born with it, like that sense of
Right.
courage?
Mm-hmm. I think it has to do with how you get used to it. So a lot of people, when they first see me, they automatically assume that it's some sort of accident. And I'm always open to having this discussion. So I never feel shy when somebody comes up to me, especially little kids, and I encourage this, if a little kid come up to me, if a little kid comes up to me and says, "What happened to your hand?" which is like the standard question, I'm more than happy to say that I was born this way, and there's no pain. You can, yes, you can touch it, no problem with that. Just be careful because we are in the middle of a pandemic right now.
Yeah.
But I'm always open for kids. I'm always open for kids coming up and satisfying their curiosity, and it's amazing because kids see it for what it is, and there's no hiding this fact. I'm not ashamed of it, and it's something that since I was born with it, I've gotten used to it. For me, this is my reality. So it's as natural as breathing, as being born with two limbs. So what the doctors have said is that this is a congenital birth defect. So I'll just put this up now. So what I have is I'm missing the palm and fingers of my left hand,
Okay.
and beyond that, everything else is the same as with my other hand. I feel when somebody touches it, if somebody were to prick it with a needle, that would definitely be ouchy. But beyond that, it's exactly like my right hand, only missing a couple of centimeters.
Okay. I have curiosity. Is how do you game?
Hmm.
With one hand.
Right, right. Well, here's the thing. I do not game with one hand. A lot of people might
Yeah.
assume that,
Yeah.
but it's the same with my work. And as I said, I'm a journalist and a reporter, so I type and I do it with both hands. And this is something that I've developed. So I'll talk about typing first and how naturally the progression from there is into gaming. So right hand is always on the right hand side, left hand is on the left hand side,
Yeah.
and that's how I type. My by default, my left hand is on the shift key, so that's where I know my left hand is always going to be on. So if I want to capitalize something, it's always on the shift key.
Okay.
And when I game, by default, I move it up and it's on Q. So that's where my hand is on by default. And I know that WER is on the right hand side of the Q key, and my right hand is on the mouse. So that's how I game.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing is, since I am gaming with my left hand, I can only press one key at a time. And normally you have three fingers and you've got three fingers on the QWE key, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I have to move my finger every time I want to press something. So that means my reaction time is a little slower compared to other gamers. But beyond that, I have fun just like everybody else.
Wow, dude. Wow, honestly. So it's just
Hmm.
something that you were born with, right? So it's not something that progressed over time to become what it is now, right?
Yep, yep.
All right, cool,
and i
cool.
think and I think that gives me an advantage if I had, say, lost a limb in an accident, god forbid,
Mm.
then it would have been a period of recovery and familiarizing myself with what is missing. But since I was born this way, for me that was the reality that any kid is used to, so I just got used to it since birth.
Wow, dude. Honestly, like, hats off. Hats off for you if you're talking about it.
Headphones off.
Yeah, headphones off. I like your headphones, by the way. It's really good.
Oh, I know, right? They're so adorable. I just love these the little cat ears that I got from Razer.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorite accessories.
So when I was chatting with your brother, and
Mm-hmm.
he told me about the camera that you're using, which is a Razer Kio. And then
Yep. Yep.
when I went online to look it up, surprisingly, it came with a bundle offer. If I get a mic and and a headphone, just like yours, exactly like yours.
Yep.
And I thought that would look really good on me. I think I kind of rocked it. Did you see the video?
You should. You should.
You saw the video.
I
You
I
like?
did, and now I'm sitting here and imagining you in all the other colors that I see, because I got mines and they're like the quintessential classic black with the green logo. But now I'm thinking to myself, there's so many awesome colors that I want to get,
Yeah.
but that's something to keep in mind the next time I decide to indulge in some hardware.
All right. So okay, let's talk about girl gamers. So
Mm-hmm.
what games have you played,
I
or
think
do
it's
you
a
play
fair
now?
question to ask. Well, I think it's a better question to ask what games I have not played, because I've been gaming since I was a kid. So that's another thing. My mom and dad both, they never thought that that my physical appearance is going to be something that should hold me back from doing what other kids do. So anything, and I grew up with my brother. My brother's 2 years younger than me. So whatever we had, we shared with ourselves.
Okay.
So I think, like many kids my age, like many millennials my age, we started with the Sega.
Okay. Yeah,
And
Sega
from
Mega.
there,
Yeah.
There we go. And there we from there we moved on to the PlayStation, and I've been a PlayStation girl ever since. It's
Okay.
been PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and now hopefully the 5 in a few months' time when the DSF shopping season hits. That's gonna be fun. So that's next on the list.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that too.
Great.
I started off.
Mhm.
I actually started off with a Nintendo 64.
Oh, cool. That was one of the best gaming consoles that was out there. If
And
anyone were to ask me, I would say it's a PS2. I don't think the PS2 has any rival when it comes to that segment. In
I
the
mean,
console segment, PS2 reigns supreme.
100%. I mean, I went through the Atari phase, and then from Atari, I jumped on to Nintendo 64. My parents bought it for me when we lived in Canada. I remember I had a few games, Super Mario, and but the game that got me hooked was Mortal Kombat. So
Okay.
it was from there I was introduced to the world of Mortal Kombat, and fighting game became something that I was so passionate about and so competitive with. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so you went from Sega, and then you went on to PS. So what games did you play when you had Sega? I'm assuming Sonic.
Oh, well, there was Sonic, obviously,
Yeah.
and I think the very first game that any kid must have played in my generation would have been Super Mario.
Okay.
There's no getting around that fact. Every kid I know has played Super Mario, or at least heard of Super Mario, or
Yeah.
seen someone play Super Mario. And beyond that, there was Tetris. Oh gosh, there was so much Tetris because
Yeah.
that was Space Invaders.
Okay. Yeah.
God,
Yeah. Yeah.
there were so many other games that I think set the foundation. So from there, it was just a natural progression to the PlayStation 1.
Okay. Okay. And then from PlayStation, but you've like when did you get into PC games?
PC games, I think like any other kid, it would have been with CS, Counter
Counter Strike
Strike,
1.1
Counter Strike Go.
1.6.
Mhm. Though I was never taped to the ceiling. I'm sure
Okay.
everybody has seen that meme up until now.
Okay.
Somebody duct taped to the ceiling and playing CS:GO. So it never got down. It never got around to that. But uh, there were lots of competitive moments with the people that you were playing from all around the world. So yes, CS:GO was what started it,
Yeah.
and from there, I think it was. League of Legends. That would be the next big one that I really got into.
So you got into League of Legends, but you didn't play any MOBA game before that.
Um, That's no, I did play quite a few before that, but seriously, when this like something that I play almost every night, then yes, that would be League of Legends.
Okay.
Before that, there were so many other games, and it all depended on what your circle of friends were playing. For me, when it started, it was me, my brother, and our cousins. So for
Yeah.
us, it was always you were guaranteed to have some time to play, and everybody would be online at the same time. So you had to have the same games.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just easy with CS:GO. And from there, once we had Call of Duty on the PlayStation, that became uh, that became something that everybody could join in. One of the first online gaming experiences where people from uh, didn't have to physically be in the same position in the same place to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me, my first PC game was when we had Windows 95. And my dad, my dad in Canada, my dad, he had that computer. So it was a Windows 95. Um,
Need for Speed. That brings back Need for Speed memories.
no, we didn't play Need for Speed on PC. Actually,
You didn't.
It was Prince of Persia. You remember the first?
Oh, yes, yes. That was on PC before it moved on to the PlayStation, where everybody played it. Before it was on it was on PC. Yes.
It was the first time that I've developed rage in video games because you
Which
know
level was it? Which level was it? Was it one of those
because
timer levels? It had to be those timer levels where you had to finish an objective in a set amount of time. Those were rage-inducing.
I think it's because I was young, so I didn't fully understand the mechanics behind the game. So I couldn't kill the enemy. You know, the enemy with the sword. You know, I'm trying to
Uh
fight
huh.
him, and I can't fight him. I kept losing. Um, but it was from there, and then when we moved,
Castlevania. Did you play Castlevania?
No, I'm telling you, it was only Prince of Persia. And then up until when we moved to Dubai in '96,
Hmm.
we had a compact. Remember compact? Remember that
No,
PC?
I'm.
That was a classic PC brand, compact. So I think it was compact. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been bought by HP. I don't want to say something and then be corrected, but compact
Mm-hmm.
used to be a very well-known PC brand. And then when our dad got it home, we had a few motorcycle games. I was really into FIFA games, and then slowly, someone at school told me, "Hey, listen, try Counter-Strike." And I remember
Mm-hmm.
going to this. You remember the sensation of the internet cafes in Dubai back in the day
Yes,
when
yes.
when it
Mm-hmm.
whatever happened to
Though,
that?
though we were playing Warcraft on that. We were playing Warcraft 3
Yeah,
and other games. So I never got into FIFA much because for me those games were all felt the same.
yeah.
So never got much into FIFA. I had one FIFA game and I don't even remember which one it was, but that was it on the PlayStation, I think. So never got into much into FIFA.
Oh, okay. There's a comment from a good friend of mine, Habibullah. Is like, bro, you're born in 1960.
You're not that old.
Bro, I've been born 1985, man. But like, I mean, I remember Dune Center. Dune Center was in the Alpha. I used to go there. I used to like literally camp there 24/7. Um, and um, and then I discovered this game called Counter-Strike. But I don't know, man. Like the sensation of internet cafes die out because, right now you can do this thing from your home. I mean, what do you think?
I think that was the main reason for it. It just became so much more convenient to do it at home. And by default, your parents were paying the bill for the internet, right? So
Yeah,
there was really no need for you to go and spend your own pocket money on those internet cafes. So I
yeah,
think that's one of the reasons they just died out. But uh, I think that's the same reason that a lot of these arcade game centers like Magic Planet still do so well because you can go over there and you can still have fun with a friend,
yeah,
and you get this whole dynamic experience that you don't get at an internet cafe anymore. Because what is it that makes an internet cafe so special?
yeah, yeah. But did you ever go to an internet cafe?
Oh yeah, a long time ago. But then it just became easier to do it at home. So, and it was a lot of work getting everybody together on the weekend. So it was just easier to actually trade games with your friends when you had a PlayStation. So I think that's what we did. So every time, oh, I finished this game, I finished Metal Gear Solid 2. Can you trade me Burnout? So let's play that. So I think that's how we passed most of our summer vacations, just trading games with everybody.
Okay, so I mean, what kind of games do you play the most when you used to go to the internet cafes?
Hmm. Counter Strike definitely,
Okay,
but again, I didn't go to internet cafes that much. It was so much more fun to just play Crash Bandicoot at home,
okay.
Crash Bandicoot and Spyro at home. So that there was a lot of that as a kid.
I mean, did you have this urge or this feeling that you really wanted to go to internet cafes, or was it just a preference that you said, you know what, that's just not my place. I don't want to go there. I prefer Crash Bandicoot at home.
Mm-hmm. I preferred Crash Bandicoot at home, and the thing is, there was no other girl in my class who wanted to go, so that was kind of a bummer,
Yeah,
sadly.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because I mean, I
I mean,
remember.
if I spoke to them about games, it would be at most, oh yeah, I played Crash Bandicoot, on the PlayStation when my brother was
Yeah.
taking a break or something like that. So I felt that there was nobody. There might have been, maybe they were just hiding it. I don't. I felt that there was nobody as passionate about gaming as me, or gaming as a pastime, as me. So there was nobody else to go with. At most, a girl would show up if she was coming with her brother, but
Mhm.
sadly there were no plans of making plans with another girl in my class and then both of us going to an internet cafe.
Yeah. I mean, even the cafes that I used to go to, I don't know, maybe it's the type of cafes that I used to go to, But yeah, I mean, if we see a girl there, you know, we'd be like, wow, what is that? You know, is that a girl
What is
here?
she? What is she doing here?
What is this blasphemy?
Mhm. But here's the thing: if you go to an arcade, you see just as many girls there as you see guys. So arcades were more popular with girls.
What is that? Arcade?
Arcades, yeah. If you go to an
Yeah,
arcade
yeah,
like
yeah.
Magic Planet, you would see just as many girls there as just you would see a guy. So I think
Yeah.
maybe that's because they were more fun and you were doing a lot more than just sitting around.
Yeah, but you know what? I think um, over time, as I kept on gaming and get into more competitive gaming, you can
Hmm.
because I've been playing a lot with uh boy gamers a lot. So the fact that when I play with a girl gamer and she's just rocking it with the timing and the making sure that she gets that headshot while she's jumping in mid-air,
Chasing the pentakill.
chasing that pentakill. Um, but yeah, like I've developed like this sense of newfound respect, and then I had few conversations about it to with people, and I didn't realize that there was a huge girl gamer industry going on here.
And it's only getting bigger. I don't know if you're aware, but last year or was it the year before that we had a girl gamer tournament over here.
Okay.
So yeah, that was absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
that
And I remember getting the press release in my inbox saying, "Do you know that there's going to be a girl gamer tournament?" And the first thing all my colleagues in the office did when they saw that was, "Roma, are you going to take part?" And and I told them, yeah, I would need a team, but it's a bit too much work for me because work took so much time. But I would have loved to be part of that. So it's and I think if you go to Comic Con or you go to Gamescon, you see a very healthy divide now. Times have definitely changed. There are so many more girl gamers that are passionate about liking games,
yeah.
cosplaying their favorite characters, and I think that's really amazing because now it's not, oh my God, there's one girl gamer in the internet cafe. What is she doing there? It's more like, oh, yeah, of course, there's a couple of girls. Yeah, they come and they have fun.
I think the tournament you're talking about is Girl Gamer Challenge. I think that's the one that took
Was it a
place.
challenge? Yeah.
I think that's the one that took
Yeah.
place in the UAE, right? Yeah,
It was. It was. Yeah.
it took place in Dubai. Actually,
Yes.
it's an
Yes.
international event. It took place in Singapore, Australia, Portugal, Macau,
Hmm.
Brazil, Spain, South Korea, and it took place in Dubai. And hats off, man! Hats off to Dubai for for hosting something like this. Inclusive, equality. That's what it's always been about. So it's really good that. But yeah, I wish you would have taken place. I'm looking out here. So they had League
I
of
wouldn't
Legends.
I wouldn't have been able to take time off work. And that's the sad
Yeah.
thing. I would have loved to dedicate more hours in the day to gaming, but I would have loved to see my boss's face when I try to justify that. Can I take some time off? I'm taking part in a gaming challenge.
Especially with everything that's been going on with the media industry. But yeah, I mean, look at that, $50,000 prize pool. That's not bad, by the way, fifty thousand
That's not a
dollars.
bad pool. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, it's uh enough to get you set up for life with at least 10 gaming rigs. Yes.
I've been having a trouble. I've been having so much trouble just to like connect with a bunch of gamers who are in the UAE and they're looking for example, a team member in League of Legends. 'Cause I play League of Legends, and I've been like telling people, listen, if you're looking for a team member, hit me up. I'm like that kid in a group that nobody wants to pick on their team.
When you first told me that you were playing League of Legends, I was so excited until you told me which region you were playing. So now I'm thinking to myself, I have to create another account, level up until I'm at that level, the benchmark where I can join you in playing. And that really kills me because I really wanted to play with you with my with my uh with my channel, but that doesn't seem like it's gonna happen.
the
Or
thing
maybe we can play something else. We can always play Overwatch or something.
the thing is, I don't know what League of Legends players in the UAE or in this part of the region. I don't know which servers that they go for.
I
So
didn't. to be very fair, I didn't either, because for us it was just pick a region at random, and everybody who was downloading the game and installing it at that time stick with that region because we're playing in that region.
Yeah,
So that's what had happened.
yeah.
That's, I think that was the beauty of this whole thing, because all of us joined at the same time. My cousin first got into it, and he introduced my brother to it, and then when I
Okay.
saw him playing, I said, I want to play as well. Okay, let's do this. So, and then from there it just spread to our other friends as well. So now I think we've got like a small community of 5 to 10 players who play. Sadly, a lot of them have had to move. One of my really, really good friends, she had to go back to Pakistan. So I miss playing with her the most. She was, I've known her since we were kids. It was amazing. So, Orange Rabbit, if you are out there, I love you so much and I really miss playing with you. It's not
There,
the same. Yeah,
there's a
it's not the same. We used to play for up to 4 hours, but now it's limited to one if we're lucky.
there's a massive gaming community in Pakistan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I remember playing PUBG for a while. It was a
Hmm.
thing a few years ago,
It
and
was a thing.
it was a thing a few years ago for me.
Hmm.
That's my problem. Like when I start a game, I become really competitive about with it, and so PUBG was something that I was really into. I had this team made up of 4 guys from work. We used to play with these guys a lot. We used to troll so much. And now I'm trying to bring, what they say, trying to bring the band back together again. But because the amount of like just jokes that we throw at each other, but we get really competitive with it. Um,
Hmm.
but whenever I play, I'd see a lot of gamers from Pakistan tuned in onto the game.
Right, right. It happens. And it's always this fun moment where somebody speaks and all of a sudden you're like, Oi, fellow Pakistani, fellow Emirati. I hear you. I see you.
Okay, so listen, I have a comment, okay? Also from my
Hmm.
good friend Habibullah. He said this
Okay.
comment in his native language, and I am
Hmm.
going to attempt it live on stream. Okay? Here's
Tell
what
me.
he said.
Hmm.
Jut bol raha hai ganja.
Oh gosh, no. Why would he say that? Oh, no, 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 no.
What
Unacceptable, dude. No, unacceptable.
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Do you really want me to tell you?
Oh, damn it. I hope Habibullah, profanity does not
No,
work
no,
in
no.
my
It's
city.
not. It's there's no profanity. There's no profanity. I would have been a lot more. I would have called him out a lot more if that was the case.
Oh,
No, hmm
he's calling me bald.
there you go. Yeah, he basically said the ball guy is speaking. We should get that on a t-shirt. We should get that on a t-shirt.
Listen,
Mhm.
Habibullah, he has really nice hair. His hair is really nice, got really nice long hair. He's a fairly good-looking gentleman, fairly.
Mhm.
Emphasis on fairly. But you
Emphasis.
can you can never rock that bald scalp, man. You can never rock that bald scalp. But listen, so like in Pakistan, are there a lot of girl gamers? Because I know that the gaming community in Pakistan is really huge. But
Hmm.
what about the girl gamer industry? What about the girl gamer scene over there?
Well, I'm not that aware of it because I don't spend a lot of time in Pakistan except for the summer vacations.
Okay,
But from what I know from my cousins, is that it's definitely growing as well.
okay,
So I think for us, the biggest thing over there, the biggest challenge still is load shedding. And I don't know if you're familiar with this term. It's when the lights go out, when the electricity is down, and if you're playing, it's horrible because you have to stop playing for an hour.
okay.
So imagine how frustrating it is if you're playing competitive and if you are playing ranked and all of a sudden your internet connection goes out because the electricity is gone.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the biggest hurdles we have in Pakistan. But beyond that, I think that the girls in Pakistan are just as passionate as they are over here.
Well, you know what? Just dialing it back when you talked about Comic Con and some of the gaming events that are taking, some of the pop culture events that are taking place here. So you know
Mm-hmm.
that next year we're gonna have Pop C, which is I don't know if you read about it. So Pop C, it's gonna be organized in Dubai. So it's kind of like Comic Con, but because
Mm-hmm.
right now MEFCC, the Middle East Film and Comic Con, went to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi,
Yeah, Abu
yes.
Dhabi now.
So all the people in Abu Dhabi are very, very happy because they don't have to make the
Yeah.
2 hour drive down here.
But in Dubai we got one now. So in Dubai we got this event called Popsy, and
Hmm.
I think that it'll be a really good opportunity to have a proper esports gaming tournament for girl gamers, like a proper competitive one. I believe that there should be more. I mean, when I was doing my research, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I was doing my research, I didn't find that volume, and I want you to tell me what you think. How does that make you feel? And you know, what do you think people can do more?
Hmm. Well, I think it has to do with a number of different things. You look at the UAE, and people might make this assumption that it's a very small country compared to, say, Saudi Arabia, which is massive in comparison to the UAE. So for them, it makes more sense to have a bigger event in a place like Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying that this is the case, but I'm just giving an example. So I think one of the reasons that we haven't seen that volume as you would in the United States, in Canada, or in Korea is not because there aren't a fair number of passionate gamers over here, but it's just that putting it together and then not having as big an outcome as you would see in other places. I think that's one of the reasons that it's become so difficult to organize it over here. But I'm sure that's changing. If you look at it, just as an example, if you look at the MEFCC, it's grown every year. Every year it gets bigger. We've got more artists coming in. We've got more competitions. We've got a lot more companies that are interested in being there on the scene. So everything takes time. And I think the more it happens, the more events will happen in the future. So we can only hope that this changes and that we get more communities that are built up that are interested in putting together these sort of competitions. So let's not limit ourselves to one big esports championship a year. I'd love to see more of them. We've got the Coca-Cola Arena. Imagine having esports championships over there. I mean, safely once the pandemic is over, just having this huge volume of people coming in and cheering on their favorite teams at the Coca-Cola Arena, that would be magic.
You know, there. I think even given the current situation with the pandemic, the easiest thing you can organize is a gaming tournament because all you need is all you need is because you're just fixated on your computer. So it's always easy to put in the to create a setup that's that includes social distancing and all of that. But I think right now we're sort of because right now we're slightly getting back into that new normal. So I think all of these restrictions have sort of gone down. So but there's
Hmm.
now much more leeway. But I wanted to just quickly tap into this. So check this out. So this is an article that was published by Forbes
Hmm.
in March this year. So check this out. In 2020,
Tell me.
women accounted for nearly 41% of all gamers in the USA.
Hmm.
And in Asia, which accounts 48% of the world's total gaming revenue. Do you know that's a huge portion. Women now make up 40 to 45% of the Asian gaming population. So that is something that was actually done by Google and Nico partners. So I don't know who Nico is. I know we know who Google is. Um, the thing is, I see that female gamers are increasing,
Hmm. We're
and
getting there, girls. We're getting there.
that's true. And hats off to that. Um, how do you think the gaming industry is going to change because of that?
Hmm. I think it's already changing. I don't think it's fair to say that the industry will change in the coming years. I think it's already changing. And I remember when we first discussed me coming on to your stream and us having this chat, that you asked people to send in their questions. And I read someone saying that, how do you feel about the portrayal of female characters in games? And how does that make you feel as a female gamer? And again, I want to say that the situation is improving. Before, it used to be, if I think back now at some of the games that I played when I was a kid, I'm kind of horrified at the way female characters were portrayed in those games. But now we've got major titles with the female protagonists who are just awesome in their own right. Well rounded characters with great backstories, great motivation, someone you can really, really say, okay, I enjoyed playing this character. Not because she's a girl, because she's written so well, and the writers and the producers did a fabulous job of bringing her to life. And I think the last game where I saw this was Control. I don't know if you've ever played that. If you get time, just
Yeah.
download it and play that game. It's such an amazing thriller. You're gonna love playing it. And the protagonist, she's amazing. I'm not gonna say any more because I want you to actually go and play the game and then come back to me and say, I get what you're saying. So
Okay.
yes, I think the situation is improving. Gone are the days when the only character people girls could say that they knew was Lara Croft. So I'm so glad that that is changing. If you ask me, I think another character that really, blew me away was Evie Fry from Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Okay.
Criminally underrated game, and I know the reason why that happened, but I had so much fun playing that game. And I got into a little tiff with Ubisoft because I remember that when I wanted to go get the special collector's edition, it didn't come with an Evie Fry figurine. It did not. It only came with the Jacob Fry, who is her twin brother, by the way. So when you play the game, you play as two characters, and the game is equally divided between the two of them, which I absolutely loved. It wasn't giving me a choice of, do you want to play as a female or do you want to play as a male? I had to play as both the twins, which was absolutely amazing. And it really left a strong impression. But then when I wanted to go get a figure, I had to buy her separately for my collection. So yeah, Ubisoft had to do better at that point. I think they are, but at that point I was really frustrated.
I wanted to actually, it's a good thing that you brought up, you brought up that topic because I wanted to sort of jump in from talking about the gaming industry as girl gamers and then talk about gaming industry as gaming developers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, it is a very good question. By the way, that person was my brother. Big shout out to you, bro, man. Thank you so much for support. He's my brother, so he and I we used to play a lot when we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a
That's the
very
best thing about gaming, isn't it? If you've got a
yeah.
sibling who is just as passionate as you, really makes games memorable. So thank you for that question, bro. Really liked it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Thank you so much. So, but yeah, like this is, jumping on from the gaming developer side. Is it because you don't think that there are enough girl gaming developers that are being involved in the mainstream games like, Assassin's Creed, even in NetherRealm Studios, like the Mortal Kombat games,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that we always talk about is, yeah, the game is great, the graphics are awesome, the storyline is epic, but the portrayal of certain
You
characters.
wish the girls were more clothed, don't you?
I don't wish that. I don't wish that girls should be more clothed, and I don't wish that girls should not be more clothed. Like my opinion on this is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely unbiased because in the end of the day, people have their own preferences, and we need to sort of, you know, satisfy everybody. But that if you had more
Fair. Mm-hmm.
girl gaming developers, I think that would sort of throw in a different opinion, wouldn't it? Like, for example,
I.
if a girl gaming developer is saying creating the character of Katana from Mortal
Mm-hmm.
Kombat, right, versus a male gaming developer creating the Katana character,
Mm-hmm.
how does that, you would have an opinion if on the guy gaming developer, but your opinion would change on the girl gaming developer. So what do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. She'd definitely have more clothes on if that was the case. I can say for certain, put that down in concrete. I'm certain she would have more clothes. But I agree with you. I agree because you can always tell the difference. And it's not just the clothes that they're wearing or how hypersexualized they are. I think it just has to do with female developers knowing that they're putting their heart and soul into a project because they know how difficult it is for them to get the funding, the backing of a major studio, and then when it comes to marketing that story, they know that they have to have an awesome project on their hands for them to actually get into a AAA release. And there's a lot of challenges that they have to overcome when it comes to bringing that product to the market. So I think now that the split between female and male gamers is close to 50-50, still not there, but we're getting there, girls. Don't you worry about it. But I think once that happens, it's going to be a lot easier for these developers to bring their ideas to the table and say, okay, this is my idea. What can we do about it? And I know for a fact that this is going to be well received in the market, not just from girl gamers, but from gamers across the board. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, they're going to love this game. And I
Yeah.
think it has to do with making sure that the character is likable. They've got a really good storyline. You can sympathize with them, or if you can't sympathize with them, they'll be memorable enough for you to say, oh, did you see that character in that game? Wasn't she amazing? Or, she was callous. She was completely unhinged, but she was so fascinating to play. So I think we need more of those ideas. And I think we need to give female developers that backing, that platform, and that level of devotion and loyalty that will allow them to bring their ideas to the table.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I want to first of all give off a big shout out to Riot Games. League of Legends, for me, what I like about it is that you don't have that kind of hypersexualized content. You know, even, even from the I mean, if you look at all the characters, even the girl characters, they're not as hypersexualized as what you would see in in other games. But then at the end of the day, everybody has their own definition of what hypersexualized characters would look like. But yeah, you kind of feel that there is that level of modesty and the appearances. You tend to focus more on the game and on the characters themselves. They try to make it a little bit more inclusive. I don't know if you've seen the new character. Is look what he's what's his name again?
Which one?
Action.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Action. So Action, what I like about it is he's that kind of character that would appeal to that Asian community between India and Pakistan, all of that. So because
Mm-hmm.
he kind of
The
has that.
accents, the accent certainly sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah, the accent sounds
Mm-hmm.
familiar. I know I know that he falls into a different world. I think he falls more
Mm-hmm.
into the world of Nasus and because
That's fantasy for you, yes.
that's
But
his
I know what you mean. I know
yeah,
what you mean about creating characters that resonate with a certain demographic.
yeah,
I think we need to see more of that, and not just males or females, just characters that sound like they're from your part of the world, even though, as you said, they might be from some other place in a geography.
yeah, yeah. And they introduced. Remember when they introduced Samira?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
she was so fun. She is so fun to play. I absolutely adore her alt, and I love how cheeky she is. Toss a coin and say, "Go buy yourself something." So
and
I would love to do something like that in real life, but it's only going to get me into trouble. So
yeah,
have to
yeah.
have to hold back from tossing dirhams. Maybe I can toss one at you and throw in the dialogue.
No, but you know what I like
you
is
you'll get it. You'll get it.
yeah, like it's like they kind of broke a lot of stereotypical barriers because even like for example, if you play Valorant, if you play
Mm-hmm.
Apex Legends, right, these are the kind of games where you have to choose characters, and you don't get to choose characters because they look cool or because they are men or women. You choose characters because of the stats and the
Mm-hmm.
abilities and the skills that they bring into the play and to the style to your gaming style. So I don't know if you played Apex. So just yesterday I had a session playing Apex Legends, and I look at the characters, and I love the diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Valorant, I
Mm-hmm.
love the diversity. You know, back in the day when I used to play a game, I used to choose a character based on their macho-ness and based on the like when I used to play Tekken 3. Yeah, when I used to play Tekken 3,
Mm-hmm.
King was my, he was that character for me. He was that person that I wanted to play with. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to play with anybody. And then other people would tell me, no, no, you have to play with, there are other characters. And there's this female character and so on. And
Mm-hmm.
I think her name was Anna at the time. And I said to myself, why would I want to play a girl character? I'm a guy. I'll play a
Mm-hmm.
guy character.
For me, it
But
was always like, oh, you got to play as Paul because Paul has this move where he one punch kills people.
the one punch.
And it was so annoying to to somebody who was you were playing against because it was like instant kill and they'd give you this very betrayed look. How could you use that move against me?
I have a friend of mine. He's a massive Hooarang fan. He's a massive Hooarang player. And the only
Oh,
reason
because of the speed of his attacks? Yeah, true.
and the fact that he's a massive Taekwondo fan. So
Oh, that's there. Yep, yep. Mm-hmm.
he gets really angry every time he plays against Paul because like he works so hard on building up those combos, and then Paul just one punches through everything.
True, true. You know, you can get around that by playing certain characters. And my cousin is this amazing Lin Xiaoyu player
Yeah,
because every time he sees Paul charging, what he does is he drops into the crouch position that she has, and it just goes overhead. So I think that was it had a lot to do with timing, and he was very good at it. He was very good at pissing off another player, or by sidestepping. You could always sidestep it, but again, you had to get the timing right, otherwise you
yeah.
would be dead. So you could always find ways around that move, but it took some practice. It took a lot of practice.
So there's a Twitch user always in the crossfire, always in the
Hmm.
crossfire, man. We are always in the crossfire. That's how it is with life. But he's saying that Law with the backflips. So you know Law.
Yes, yes, absolutely. My dad's favorite character. When we would play, he loved playing with Law. Yes, and then he switched to Eddie because Eddie with his capoeira was just so cool. One of the coolest and most iconic characters in Tekken.
Listen, you know what? If and this is my advice to any person who wants to play Tekken.
Hmm.
Um, if you want to practice, no, if you don't want to practice, if you just want to play just for the sake of playing, and you just want to get some wins, just play Eddie. That's
Just
it.
play it.
Just play Eddie.
Fair, fair, fair. Yes.
Okay, and
Hmm.
just mash any button you set. You want to talk about spam? Because he's saying if you spam Law's backflip, that'll get you the win. Listen, dude,
That will get you the win. True, true. Yes.
but let me tell you this: if you spam Eddie's buttons, just anything, okay, that will get you a guaranteed win. That character,
We're forgetting Yoshimitsu. We're forgetting Yoshimitsu and the spinning move. Oh, that spinning move was annoying. I mean, of course, when you spin too much, he got dizzy and fell down. But that was another really, really frustrating move to have somebody use against you. Yoshimitsu with the spinning move. Oh gosh.
there was a time I was really competitive on Tekken, and especially
Mm-hmm.
before the Street Fighter X Tekken came out. So I don't know if you remember that game. Um,
I loved Street Fighter. Everybody had a favorite character on Street Fighter, and I'm sure you can guess who mine was. So take a guess.
I want to say Shun Li, but I don't know if that would be like too obvious.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. No, no, no. She's absolutely fantastic. Spinning bird kick. Who didn't love using that move? Mastering it took ages, but once you did, that sense of accomplishment, you hardly get that nowadays. Just landing that combo, it was a very complicated combo, but it was so fun to finally master and then
True.
show off. Show off.
Sagat was my character. For me, Sagat was my character.
Mm,
He was really good. So remember when Street
true.
Fighter and Tekken joined forces together and came up with Street Fighter X Tekken. So there was a period of time
Mm-hmm.
where I was really into the game, I was really into Street Fighter, I was really into Tekken. But when I was
Did
playing
you ever get
Tekken,
into King of Fighters? Sorry to cut you off, but did you ever get into King of Fighters?
of
That was
course,
it had a huge roster. I'm just thinking about characters and how many they had at one point. So, I mean, a lot of people say League of Legends has a huge number of characters. I think they're forgetting King of Fighters and just how many characters that had.
King of Fighters was one of the OGs. You know, I used to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in the arcades, you used to. They were there a lot.
They were there. Street Fighter, King of Fighters. Yes, they were there.
Yeah, Choi was hilarious. Always in the crossfire saying Choi was hilarious. Yeah, he was hilarious. Yeah, but let me tell you this. Yeah, Yoshimitsu, I've never like until this very day, I have no idea how that character worked. I don't know how to play him. And you're telling me if I spam buttons, I'll be able. I tried that, and Yoshimitsu
Mm-hmm.
is the kind of character that's really technical. Like the possibilities in his combos are
Mm-hmm.
insane. I've watched people like pro players play Yoshimitsu. Um, like for me, that character is on a like whenever I see somebody play Yoshimitsu and really dominate, I just want to quit Tekken. That's it. I put my hand down and say, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not playing that anymore.
Well, you're nicer about it. I know a couple of sword losers, and thankfully, I've never run into someone that's thrown a controller at the TV. Thankfully, but I've heard about those. So hats off for you for just saying, "Okay, I'm done. Enough."
Yeah, I mean, rage is something normal. I think, we have to address the fact that if you get angry because you lost a game and you sort of react, you have a react like an emotional response. I think it's fine. I think it's only if we recognize it as as a natural thing, then it's fine. But yeah, I mean, going back, I think, like what you said, maybe if we have more girl gaming developers out there, we can have something like what we see on Riot Games, what we see on Apex Legends. I think it's changing more and more, and we can see it. And like what you said, it's growing. But what I wanted to ask you is, when somebody says that more girl gamers impact the industry,
Mm-hmm.
like, how does that define? What do you mean? Does it impact in terms of skill pool, or does it impact in terms of sales? How does it impact in your view?
Right, right. I think it's a lot more complicated than just saying that it impacts the industry, certainly. And I think it has an impact in different ways. For example, one of the arguments that was made very early on about why we don't see more female protagonists headlining a game was that, well, girls don't buy that many games, so you can't use that excuse anymore. Girls are just as dedicated to gaming now than they were before. So that argument has gone out the window. I think it just has to do with how much more of a voice you can give these women. And I'm not just talking about major titles, because you can't just justify major titles and funding them as and completely ignoring smaller titles. Indie games are absolutely amazing. Retro games coming back into the industry. You have to look across the board, and funding for them has to come from everywhere. You can't just say that, oh, we're only going to do this because we know it's a AAA title. We know it's going to get a lot of marketing and it's going to do well. So I think that's a bit unfair. But of course, it's very easy for me to say this stuff. Getting it done is definitely going to take time. But I think once more women end up on the boards of different gaming institutes, I think that's going to change. I think that's when the real change comes, because then you have women that will be championing the cause way from the top. So I think that is what is needed right now. And, you can only hope for the best in the days to come.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% correct though. Let's talk about competitive gaming. So competitive gaming are games like, like your average Counter-Strike, Valorant, League of Legends, Dota, uh,
Mm-hmm.
massive games that have huge fan base and tournaments with like millions in prize pools. Do you
Yes.
think
Mm-hmm.
now, despite of the fact that, yeah, you know what, the female gaming community is growing rapidly. So this, a lot when I was doing my research, one of the most interesting facts that came out this year is that nearly today, as of this year, nearly half of the world's gamers are now women and girls. So
Mm-hmm.
that's great news for me. But there's a question of them existing, and there's a question of them leveling up and ranking up,
Right.
and they have
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not they have the platform and the means to do that. Um, do you see do you see the two are different, or do you see the two, moving forward at the same level?
Right. I think this is very reflective of a situation that you would see in sports right now. For example, if you ask people about sports such as tennis, at most when you tell them how many female tennis players do you know, at most they might say Serena and Venus Williams, but they won't know. But they might know five. male tennis players. And I think that's the case over here with the gaming industry as well, with the esports industry. You don't see that talent reflected in international competitions and prize pools.
Hmm.
And for example, if you look at worlds, it's all male dominated. You don't have a worlds for for gamer girls.
True.
But I think that's going to change with competitions like the one we talked about happening in Dubai, the championship, and with more of these happening on a regular basis. And here's the thing, you can't just have it on a one-off situation. You can't just say we're going to have it this year and then we're going to see how it goes. No, you've got to make the commitment to make this an annual thing or a regular thing. And it's only when that momentum begins to accelerate, that's when I think we're going to see it being reflective of what the current trend is in the market, which is more girls playing games.
I wanted to ask you this. When I was working on the video that I posted, the teaser video, um,
Hmm.
my initial script was different. My initial script was I wanted to first talk about some of the misogynistic and sexist things that people shout to each other online. But well, you know why I
You
changed.
can if you want to. Yeah,
But
you can if you want to.
yeah,
But
but you know why I changed my mind because I wasn't sure because when I was doing my research, I wasn't sure if that was still the case. We're in the 21st century. A lot of things have changed. The Me Too movement sort of put everybody into perspective. We shouldn't have waited for the Me Too movement. I think it should have been something that we needed to know about way before that. But do you see that change, or is it still happening?
I would like to say that I'm seeing a big change, but it still happens. For me personally, I'm very selective about who I play with, and the fact is, I started playing with my brother and my cousin, so we were always this tight knit group. So I didn't really feel the need to branch out and make friends online. And when I did, I was very careful about who I added to my friends list. So what would happen is I would play a game, and if I enjoyed playing with another character and I felt that we had this connection and that they were genuinely a good guy, I'm not going to say nice guys because of all the memes, but uh, when I felt that when I felt that this was a guy who did not have that attitude that really pissed me off, I would add him. And from there, the more you play, the more friends you make, and I think it just becomes easier. It's very easy to say that, okay, this person is being rude. I'm gonna complain about it later, or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna report him. And League of Legends does allow you to do that. How effective it is, that remains to be seen. But I know that it's a lot of guys who had these serious rage moments, and they've gone completely off the handle and started saying, girl gamers don't deserve to be here. You guys are, not adding any value and all that nasty stuff. It's very easy to just shut them up or just mute the chat. But for me, I have a certain group of people that I play with, and I just adore these guys to bits. They wouldn't take, this sort of stuff from other guys, or if they see it happening and somebody calling me out when it happens,
Yeah,
then they come to your defense. But as you said, it shouldn't happen. We're in the 21st century. This shouldn't happen.
yeah,
But it's a sad reality because it makes you wonder, who made these guys the gatekeepers of fun. So, and I was having this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. She said, "Oh, I don't consider myself to be a serious girl gamer." And what I told her was that, listen, you're a girl and you play games. Doesn't that by default make you a girl gamer? I mean, there's no girl gaming card that you have to earn by playing, big titles or playing competitively or playing ranked. So it doesn't matter for me. A little girl who's playing Angry Birds on her tablet is as much of a girl gamer as I am.
yeah. But listen, has that
I
ever
think
happened?
we needlessly complicate the situation when it comes to tags and putting people in a box. At the end of the day, a lot of girls play games because it's fun. I play it because it's fun and because it helps me de-stress after a hard day of work.
Yeah.
So some people will be worried because I'm playing and I'm cursing and I'm saying die, die, die while I try to get a pentakill. So I'm sure a lot of my colleagues will be very worried about that. But it's that's how we play and that's how we have fun.
Has it ever happened to you though? Have you ever been in a situation where you were playing a game, it's a bit competitive, things get a bit competitive, and then somebody just went in there and just threw this, like a went in on a rampage of misogynistic and sexist comments to you
Mm-hmm.
while playing. Did that ever happen to you?
Sadly, yes, it has. When I'm not playing with my friends or they're not online, so I just, take a deep breath and I play with, and I just play alone. Then it happens, especially when you're playing a match that is not against bots. I would say it happens quite a lot. And especially if you have a feminine gamer tag, then they're like, okay, it's a girl gamer. So I think that's another reason that girls hide their identities online. And I think that's another reason why it's so difficult to get accurate statistics about how many girls are playing, because a lot of girls at the end of the day, they don't appear on voice chat. They prefer not to talk because they know as soon as they start talking, it immediately makes them a target. Should anything go wrong, should their skills are not up to the mark, what's going
Yeah.
to happen is that going to be getting a lot of abuse, a lot of sexist comments about go make me a sandwich. Well, dude, I don't see you going out there and chopping logs for the fire now, do you?
Did actually somebody say that? Did somebody say go make me a sandwich?
Sadly, yes. I mean, okay, my sandwich making skills are awesome. They're quite unbeatable. That's one of my favorite snacks, but I don't make sandwiches for anybody except myself.
Wow, wow. The thing is, I'm still trying to understand, how or why does that happen? And I'm sure everybody's upbringing is, different. And I'm definitely going to assume and say that, most of the people that have been that have a really good upbringing still some way, somehow, um, I don't know. They feel different. Like for me, when I was young, I didn't see it that way. For me, it was different. Yeah, like what, it's the girl gamer. It's interesting. I really, I didn't have an opinion about it. But then as I grew older, and for me, and now I look at girl gamers just the same way as I look at a guy gamer. I don't see it. I don't see it in any. I don't see it differently. But when I sit down and I read a lot of articles, and yeah, I read a lot of, uh, like one of the comments. I remember I was playing League of Legends last year, and I remember that happened. Like this was an actual example. So when I was playing a game, and then some person said, why do you? That's why you. So the someone was playing a game. We weren't doing really well. ADC was messing up, and I remember that the ADC was a girl gamer, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then the player, the champion from mid lane said that the ADC is a girl gamer, and then he said, okay, yeah, that's why, because you play like a girl. So,
E.
so for me, I'm trying to understand, like, where does that ideology come from? Where does that culture come from? People cannot necessarily be too evil. I think it's just that
Mm-hmm.
there's that misplaced sense of, what is that, macho-ness or authority? What do you think?
Um, I wish I had a answer for you. I think it's a combination of a lot of factors, and I might be wrong on them. I think it's a lot to do with the herd mentalities, or this being the case for so many years that it's just easy for people to fall into it. You know, little kids might be playing, and then they think it's cool to go after a girl gamer and say, okay, make me a sandwich, because it's what the older guys are doing and it's cool and they want to be the cool kids. Or maybe it's just easy to heap abuse on someone who they think doesn't belong in their world. There could be a number of reasons, and I think it's not just one reason. And I would like to say that people are not inherently evil, because many times, uh, I don't think that these guys are capable of saying the same thing that they say online to girls in real life.
Yeah.
This might not always be the case. Maybe they're the same offline as they're online, but I think playing online, you're behind a screen. There's this element of nobody knowing who you are, so you can really have at it. If you want to be nasty, there's no repercussions. At least in certain games, you can be as nasty as you want. It's a way for you to let off steam. Everybody is doing it, and that justifies you doing it. So I think it's a combination of all these things, and which makes it so difficult to address and find solutions for, because it's not just one thing. If it was just guys not knowing that many girl gamers, which is why they're doing it. I think it would be easier if there was one reason, because you could address that one reason and make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's just different.
Yeah.
I would say that it's not easy, but I don't know how PG friendly your kid friendly your stream is right now. So I don't want to talk about half the
W-
things that I
w-
heard in the beginning when I just started out. But yeah, there were some pretty awful things. But and
It's
I think sadly, girls do need to have a thick skin when they're playing online. I wish that wasn't the case, but I'm a realist, and I know that no matter how nice the community is, how nice people might say the community is, and when you're playing certain games,
mm,
there is always this danger. There's always this anticipation of you getting, verbal abuse for being a girl gamer playing.
that sucks. By the way, it's 11:15, so I'm definitely sure there are no kids.
Ooh, yeah.
There are no kids, so you can.
It's the weekend. It's
It's
the
the week.
weekend. How do you know there are not any night owls right now?
So one of my friends, Habibullah, is saying, Musa makes really great sandwiches. Yeah, so if anybody ever tells you go make me a sandwich, just tell them I'll connect you to this really wonderfully looking Viking looking gentleman who will who will happily personalize your own sandwich. It's,
Oh, what's your favorite sandwich? What's your favorite sandwich to put together?
um, turkey and cheese, but
Mm-hmm.
I need to lay off the turkey. I've been told. I need to lay off on the cold meat part.
But that's what makes it so good. I would love to have one right now with a little bit of avocado and some ranch. I love ranch.
Yeah, so always in the crossfire saying we need to get Subway into the mix. Oh, 100%, man. Get, get,
Subway, I love your cookies. I love your chocolate chip cookies.
give them some of
Just
that.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, Subway, if you're hearing, we would appreciate it. Special shout out for you, Subway. But yeah, I mean, like it gets to me. But you know what? When I play, for example, League of Legends, and I hear such a comment, I actually
Mm-hmm.
interfere. I say something, like I do something about it. And I remember somebody saying, you hit like a girl. Like literally, that was a comment. You hit like a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, you're sitting.
Well,
I'm like, and then I responded to the dude. I'm like, listen, dude, listen, bro, you're sitting out in the computer and you're typing this to a person that you don't know, and you're telling her that that she hits like a girl. But what if you actually have the balls to go up to her, okay, and let her smack you in the face? Then you can choose whether or not she hits you like a girl. And that dude just
mm-hmm.
went quiet and just put three dots and did not say anything. It gets to me. It gets to me, and
It is frustrating, even for a lot of my friends, when they see somebody, they might be the worst player on the team, or they might be having a bad day, but then by default the abuse will be heaped onto the girl, and they feel that, they're like, you do realize I've got more deaths than kills, and yet you're talking about our strongest player as if she's the weakest link. So, and notice how this guy backed off once you interfered. And sadly, if I think it's a girl and if she replies, there's an escalation. I think that's something that happens quite a lot. It might escalate to the point where, the whole chat will be, people chiming in and talking about, girls versus boys. But uh, I think it's different when a guy does it and he'll be like, okay, dude, just, back off. We don't need to hear any more of your crap at this point.
yeah, I mean, especially I have a daughter, and I know that at some point when she grows up, she's gonna get into the whole experience of gaming. I have a son as well. He's already playing. He's already, I would say, like a moderate gamer. I think it's reverse psychology. When the father is a heavy gamer, the son and the children are the absolute opposite. But you know what? You know what? Like at some point, young girls, when they get into the world of gaming, and especially in the world of competitive gaming, most of them that I know or I hear about do exactly what you say, which is
Mhm.
they hide their profile picture, they hide their details, their names are different, they have to sort of hide
Because
within.
it's easier, takes less energy. It's only a matter of a few clicks. You do it at the beginning and then you forget about it. And if you want other people to know, you can tell them I'm a girl gamer despite what my name says. I have
Okay.
a very very guy sounding name, or I have a very gender neutral sounding name. So I think it's just easier. And But that's not what you want. I mean, as a dad who has a daughter, you don't want that. And I think it's the same for my dad as well. I don't think he's aware about just how big gaming has become. I mean, I know he's aware of how big it has become, but if I were to talk to him about this abuse, he would be quite horrified to hear that guys say stuff like this to girls. But that's just the thing for him. Gaming is something that he's seen his kids always get into, and it's never been about somebody saying that your daughter can't play but your son can play. For him, it was never about that. It was just something his kids enjoyed.
For me, I would actually want her to tell me. Like, I wouldn't want her to hide it from me. Because you know why? Because I know one thing's for sure, I can't do anything about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
so,
How would you intervene? Exactly. Yeah.
how would you intervene? But it's good, it's important for me to help her understand that, the world, the internet world is a different world. It's a different universe. When you're plugged into your computer and you go on Twitter or you go on Facebook, or when you're playing any kind of game, right? Um, you become something else or someone else, or that kind of character that you're portraying on the internet. And a lot of people tell you, who we are on the internet is different than who we are on life. I think that's the biggest bullshit.
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest bullshit. I
Mm-hmm.
think that there's a part of you and a part of your personality that is some way somehow tied up to who you are on the internet. So if you are out there throwing misogynistic comments online, but in real life you don't, that does not make you a less of a sexist or a less of a stereotypical human being. It still makes you that person, and it still makes you part of the problem.
True.
So what I do
True.
is,
True.
so if my daughter would come up to me and say, "Look, here's what they said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5," I would want her to tell me, and I would want her to understand that there are different people. People are born with different ways of thinking, with different cultures and different upbringing. So it's very important to find a way how to fight them without necessarily um, fighting fire with fire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
at the very least, you want her to know that you're on her side. This is something that it's not just targeted at her. It's a problem that the majority of girl gamers face, and she's not alone in that. And just hearing that is a comfort for any girl, I would say.
I think, yeah, and also what you said, like what you said, there are a lot of games right now where you can actually, if you wanna complain, if you wanna make a complaint, if you wanna report someone, now you can see that there's a tab for reporting somebody for being sexist, racist, or
Mm-hmm.
misogynistic in any way. And check this out,
True.
there's this article on Cosmopolitan Middle East. So, this is something that I didn't know, and now I know that there is a huge girl gaming community in Saudi Arabia. So shout out to Saudi Arabia and shout out to all the gaming girls in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, there's a huge gaming gaming community in Saudi Arabia, and that makes me happy because these are the kind of people that are breaking the chains. These are the kind of people that are breaking the barrier. What would your advice be to a young girl who's playing video games, who wants to get into competitive gaming? Um, what would your advice be, and what are some of the traps you want her to avoid from falling into?
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Well, number one, I would say don't let anyone tell you how to have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, what matters is if you're having fun while playing, and don't let another guy or girl, okay, no, because I know quite a lot of girls can also be very, very, abusive online and definitely have a foul mouth. So don't let anyone tell you that you're not allowed to have fun. If you're having fun, remember the reason you do it. People game for a lot of different reasons, but at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. So make sure that you don't let people who are just nasty, because at the end of the day, they don't matter. What matters is that
True.
you're the one playing, you're the one that's out to have fun, you're the one that's enjoying the game. So don't let them get to you. I know it's very easy to say, but just remember the reason you do it, and the reason is what will help you get through it. And if you see someone being a hothead, it's very easy to mute them. Just mute them and don't get into a fight, because I would say 90% of the times it will end up becoming something that will go on again and again and again. So don't let them take away that enjoyment. Keep that enjoyment close to yourself and remember why you do it. That's what I would tell people.
Yeah, and so what about you as a like for example, when you become a mom and let's say you have a daughter and she wants to be a girl gamer, like would your attitude be different from what you
I think mhm,
from what you
from
went
what it
through?
is now,
Yeah,
I would hope that when that happens, then the situation would be much, much improved from what it is today. But my advice would be the same. Again, if she's having trouble playing online because other people are are pretending to be the gatekeepers of fun, I
yeah,
would say no. Don't let them get to you. And I went through it. You can come and talk to me about it. We'll end up having this discussion, but at the end of the day, I'll just say, okay, you want some ice cream, I'll make you a sandwich. If you want, go back to gaming. Go back to gaming. I'll be there with you every step of the way, and we can play together if you don't want to play online. And I'm sure it'll be easy to make friends with people who have the same attitude as you, people who are in it for the same reason as you. You just got to find those people and then stick with them.
that's
For
true.
me, yep. For me, I've got a dedicated troop of people that I play with. So one of them is actually, Papa 2.0 right now. So he's got a little baby daughter just a few months ago.
Okay.
So Mr. Boris went from being Papa 1.0 to Papa 2.0 right now. So shout out to him. Sammy, another one of my friends who is in the UAE, who is in Dubai, he's a really, really nice chap that I absolutely enjoy playing with. He's got the best zingers. Honestly, he has the best zingers when we're playing and somebody says something. So his replies on the chat are obviously hilarious. And then I have another friend of mine who's in Turkey. Again, I really, really adore him. Hachi, absolutely love the guy. Then I've got another friend who is in Germany who I haven't played with in quite a while. So, Alex, looking forward to seeing you back on online. So
Wow, man.
that's my crew. That's my five.
That's a
That's my
crew.
5-person crew. That's my 5-person crew.
That's your click. Okay, Roma. Now
Hmm.
now let's talk about a few games that you play. So let's start with League of Legends. All right, because you
Yes.
and I we have that common interest with League of
Hmm.
Legends. What's your lane and who's your champion?
Okay. Ask me that question again, but ask who I play in every lane.
You play top lane too?
Okay, I do. From
I
time to time.
I wouldn't perceive you as a top laner. I would perceive you
Hmm.
more as an AD carry or a mid laner.
Okay, half of that is true, but I do play all lanes, and I think it's just what I get the most enjoyment from. It depends on my mood, but yes, I have played each and every lane. I've got a dedicated champion for each and every lane. So ask me about that.
So who's your top laner?
Fiora. Before the rework, she was my main.
Oh my God.
Nowadays, it's either Nasus or it's Darius.
Just saying her name just is giving me the chills. Oh man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you something. Fiora, I remember this one time, this dude that I wanted to play with, and he said,
Mm-hmm.
"Listen, if you can beat my champion, I'll play with you on ranked." Because he was a really good player.
Ooh. Uh-huh.
So I said, "Okay, fine. Who's your champion?" He's like, "It's Fiora." I'm like, "Okay, how hard can that be?" And you know,
You thought you were having fun until she hit level 6, right?
she
And then it was all
cancels.
downhill.
She can't. So see, I'm an Urgot player. She cancels
Mm-hmm.
my ulti with her. She
Ooh.
cancels my ulti with her W, which is
Mm-hmm.
the parry move,
Frustrating. Yes, she parries quite a lot of abilities.
and that is really, really it gets to me. Like that's a massive combo breaker for me. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Fiora is a massive damage dealer. So now I know how to play against Fiora better. But if I'm playing against somebody who's a real pro with Fiora, yeah, that's not good news for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good news for me. But yeah, Fiora is a good player. Nasus is someone
Mm-hmm.
that You know, I told you I was practicing with Malphite. So for a while, I was
Mm-hmm.
practicing Malphite. So here are the champions that I play with. On top lane, I have Urgot, Mordekaiser, um, Malphite, and now Nasus.
Right.
Um, last last week's stream was I'm gonna, by the way, for last week's stream, I'm gonna create like a short video, and I'm going to show the gaming community exactly what it means to be tilted because I was tilted. Absolutely.
Ouch.
Listen, I could not secure a single kill properly. And you know what? Every single time I played 6 games, and in all 6 games, I've been playing against one champion constantly popping in my face, which is Mort Kaiser.
Ooh.
So listen, he got a
I
buff.
sympathize.
He got
Yes,
he,
you
he got
did.
he got a buff in the new patch. So his E is now, so his E is that hand that comes out of the floor and then just drags you towards him. Okay.
Towards him, yeah.
So that E is now has a less cooldown. So
Mm-hmm.
he can spam it more often. Um, so you know, for me, playing against Mordekaiser, it's really exhausting and time consuming, and it takes a lot of your energy because if that champion does not know how to time his moves properly, I have a huge advantage over him, and I take them
Mm-hmm.
down. But I played
But what
against,
about his passive? That's another thing. He's got such an amazing passive that people just seem to forget about. And then all of a sudden they're like, what in the world happened to my health? And then you remember, oh, that's his passive. That's what's helping him, stay in the game longer than I am.
well, see, that's the thing, you know, with Mordekaiser, the best way to beat him is to dodge his E. So his E,
Mm-hmm.
which is the hand that drags you in, if you dodge that, you're good. And you need an early
I think I
game.
lost you there for a second, Musa. I can't hear you.
What, can you hear me now? You can still hear me, right? Technical issues in the
Oh,
streaming. Yeah, you can hear
um,
me?
I, I got you back. Yes.
Yeah. So I was telling you, the best way to beat a Mordekaiser is just dodge his E, which is the hand that drags you towards
Mm-hmm.
him. And early game, focus on farming and poke him and move. Because what you want to do is you want to bait his W, which is the shield,
Right.
because he uses that
Yes.
shield right towards the end. So, and just avoid his passive, because if he hits you 3 times, his passive activates. So if he hits you one time, avoid him so he doesn't hit you a second and third time.
Mm-hmm. True.
So yeah, I played 6 games versus Mordekaiser, and it was really exhausting. I was really tired, and I and I started. And this is the first time that I actually lost it on stream. This is the first time I was really angry, and and I just said, "People, I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I on stream? I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm losing horribly." But
That's why I tell people remember the original reason you got into this.
God damn
It's
Mordekaiser,
because
man.
yeah,
I goddamn Mordekaiser. Like
I I sympathize. I'm so sorry. I sympathize.
I love him. Okay, look, listen, I love him if I'm playing with him, but if I'm playing against
Mhm.
him, it's a nightmare for me.
I feel
Um,
that way about Nasus. I feel that way about Nasus. Quit slowing me down.
Nas,
Oh gosh,
but
that slow really gets to me. More than anything, for me, what pisses me off is if I have a nice momentum going and then and then I'm playing against a character that has something that slows that momentum down, which is one of the reasons that I think one of my best support champions is Lulu. And every time we play against someone who has a Lulu as a support in bot lane, they get so frustrated because uh, that ability she has where she transmutates you into a cute little woodland creature, that pisses everybody off. So when I'm playing as Lulu, it's amazing because you see somebody coming in, and especially if you're getting ganked, it's such an invaluable ability to have. Oh, look, I can see somebody coming in. They're going to gank us. I'm just going to turn them into something cute, and then we retreat back under the tower.
you know, I've been wanting to play Nasus. I've been playing him. I know he's a solid low elo pick. So if you want to scale in the ranks, you know, Nasus is a good option. But see, I have a theory. if you want to play
Mm-hmm.
Nasus, you need to make sure that you have a good jungle. You have a good jungler because Nasus
True.
before his level 9, I feel like he's useless. Even if he has his ulti, because
That's true. That's true.
his
Mm-hmm.
level when he becomes level 9, that's when you've already stacked up your queue, but you need jungler to help you out, to gank with you, to secure kills so that you can level up. Like that's my theory on Nasus. But that's why I don't play with him that much because most of the time when I'm playing on League of Legends, it's the jungler is an absolute idiot. Oh, look,
Mm-hmm.
your friend decided to join. Hello, hello.
Wait, look up here, Zoro.
His name is
Say
Zoro.
hello to the. This is Zoro. Say hello to the world. Okay, you can get back up there.
Is
It's
it?
fine.
I'm assuming you called him Zoro because of the black right over his eyes.
The black mask? No, actually, what happened is I adopted him from this couple that were leaving the UAE, and he's an older boy. He's a 5-year-old, really, really cute gent. So he's a very mellow cat.
Okay.
But I adopted him, and I wanted someone who was older and a little bit more calm.
Okay.
And his name is actually Emperor Zoro.
Emperor
And when they
Zoro.
first told Emperor Zoro, when they first told me that, I had a laugh, and then I thought to myself, "There's no way I'm changing this name. It is too cool for me to change."
Okay. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
you play Nasus, you play Fiora. What else do you play in top
Mm-hmm.
lane?
Top lane, Darius. Darius.
Ah, the champion
I
that
like pulling people to. I like pulling people towards me while they're running away, and then the ult just. And then using the ult, timing it perfectly, and then still having the ult to use again. That really that feels good. You're hacking away to a pentakill if possible, if you have a good support. And I think that's very, very. I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, the how how a good jungler makes all the difference. For me, if I'm playing jungler, I always use a Mumu because that snare ability, the bandage toss, grabbing someone while they're retreating, bonus points if you manage to grab the ADC, because that's when you know you've got the advantage over the enemy team. So, and a 5-man ult with an Amumu, oh, changes lives on the Rift.
like basically, I remember this actually happened to me, but this was not on stream. This was happened to me a long time ago. So I was playing against a Mumu. So I was ganking. I was helping ADC. So I
Mm-hmm.
teleported to a ward that was placed on ADC lane on bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
I come in to help my team. I get ganked by a Mumu, and then
Okay.
he uses his toss, uses his
The
ulti,
bandage toss.
the bandage
Uh-huh.
toss, uses his ulti.
All for you. All for you. Uses that ult all for you.
No, he
Oh,
so
wow.
so so he uses the ult for me and the team around me, but he managed to grab me with his bandage toss.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, Lux comes in and just throws her Q so
The
bluntly.
snare.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm still stuck. And I'm and then Morgana, okay, they're
5 minutes stun. The
and then,
the
and then
5 minute. Oh God, they had a Morgana as
so
well.
so Lux
Wow.
was mid lane, Momo was jungler, and Morgana was the support. And then Morgana comes in.
They showed you no mercy. They did not have any mercy in their hearts.
Listen, I am not kidding you. I was stunned for at least 5 seconds, 6 seconds. I couldn't.
Now, if that was my team, I would enjoy that, but I can imagine how frustrating that it is to play against a team of people who have that many snares. It's unfair.
Man.
You feel as if it's unfair. True.
But yeah, okay, so it's not bad. So for me, so Urgot for me has been top lane. Mordekaiser, Malphite, I love him. I've been playing with him a lot. But the thing about Malphite and Nasus and all of that is that, and I've started to understand that more. My fighting style on League of Legends is more like a bully, a little bit of a bully. So, because Urgot is a little bit of a lane bully, especially in
Mm-hmm.
early lane, early game, and he's the kind of champion that he can push through the lane, and you don't necessarily always need the support of other people. But Malphite, for example, Malphite and Nasus, no, you need someone to help you out early game to help you scale. Because like
True.
if I'm playing against Fiora with Nasus, there's no way in hell I'll be able to scale without, the help of.
Mm-hmm.
So who's your junglers most of the time that you play on
Most of the
Valorant?
time it's a Mumu. I prefer having a champion which has an AoE ult because I just like the look of them and I love how accomplished I feel when I manage to land it successfully and get more than one or two champions in an ult.
Okay.
So I do love playing in with a Mumu. And let's talk about fiddlesticks. Oh my gosh, you think you've got everything under control, and then from nowhere, fiddlesticks comes in with that ult, fears everybody, and then you're all running for your life. So that's the type of ult which I think is fun to have, not not that fun to play with. So that would be two of my top picks. Who do you normally ADC with?
ADC, I'm not a massive ADC player to be honest, because
Mm-hmm.
I've tried it for a few times, but I've realized that ADC has a completely different rule. It has like a different rule set. It has a different strategy because you would think
You're a
80,
lot more dependent on another player as an ADC as compared to a mid laner or a jungler. So I know that a good support can make or break a game because how good you are directly impacts how good the ADC is in the game.
Mm.
That's why a lot of people when they play, you can tell that if they're bot pre-made, you're in trouble if you're playing against them because they are in sync, they're on the same level. And especially if they're on Discord with each other, you're going to be in trouble because for them a lot of the problems that you have when you're playing against someone, when you're playing with someone you don't know, is there's no communication, or the communication isn't as instant if you're not on the voice chat. So if you have two pre-made bot, that's amazing.
There were a few instances where I played Urgot on ADC, uh, but it's also because I had a really good support. Um,
Hmm.
there was this one time where I played Mordekaiser ADC, and oh my God,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
get, but guess what? Guess who was my support? Zillion.
Oh, the slows, the double bomb stuns. Yes, I can see that as
So
happening.
so
And the speed, yes.
Yeah, so Zillion, what he did, so this support actually understood what I wanted because he knows that
Mm-hmm.
I need to build towards my level 6. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole time, all he kept on doing is kept on throwing his abilities onto the champions to push the enemy team far behind. So
Mm-hmm. True.
because they and I told him, "Look, we'll keep the fight close to our tower." Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I won that. Like I dominated that lane like a boss, man. I'll tell you that much.
He was letting you get a leg up on the farm. So that always makes a difference.
Yeah, but then you know what? After some time playing it, I realized that ADC has a completely different set of rules. It's not the same as like you're playing a mid lane or a jungle or a top lane. So I kind of put the lid on it for a while. I've tried Veigar. Veigar is my first League of Legends champion. So when I first got in,
Really?
yes, so when I first got
Oh,
into League of Legends, I started off with Veigar, and I love that character. I still love that character until today. I tried him also
that
on.
stun. I love the AoE stun and how effective it is in a team fight. There's It can make or break a team fight, that stun. So yes, I absolutely adore him as well.
Forget the
For
stun.
me,
It's just two abilities. The W,
mm-hmm,
which is the thing that comes from above, and his ulti.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Like those
the
are the
dark matter, yes,
yeah.
yes. That ult, yeah, that, and then the laugh that follows after successfully killing someone with the ult.
Yeah.
Hats off to that voice actor. Oh gosh.
Yeah. But
I still remember my three champs as well. I think by default a lot of people have Ash as the first champion because that's what they did the playthrough with.
yeah.
So I think Ash is definitely what everybody has as their first character, or most people. For me, that's certainly true. And then I had Fiora as my second champion because I just loved her ult before it got reworked. And then I got Lulu as my third champion. So I'm still fond of these champions.
What do
And
you
then
play
and then I
now?
got Timo.
Ah,
Nowadays, it depend. Yes, I do love playing with Timo. They nerfed him quite a bit, but uh, I actually got the little devil Timo in the as a skin because I got that in the chest. So I said, okay, this seems apt. Let's see how many people I can piss off with this skin.
Can I tell you something? If there
Tell
was,
me.
if there was one champion that if I lost to, that I would literally say, you know what, I have lost with absolute honor, and it would be against Timo, because I'll tell you something.
Timo?
Yeah, because that champion is not an easy champion to win with, because
Because
it's
of all the nerfs. Mm-hmm.
no, not all the nerfs, because his strategy, it's all about the poke, right? So you poke, you throw in your Q, you gotta know when to throw in your Q. A lot of Teemo players, they just blatantly throw in their Q, they silence the other person, but they're not attacking them in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
until the Q's cooldown is done, by that time.
They're just gonna hide in the bush. Yeah, that's frustrating because that's something that I would tell a lot of Teemo players. Don't stop, after blinding them. Don't just stop and run away. Keep at it, keep hitting them. You're forgetting that your passive really, really helps. So keep at it, keep hitting them, because the more you hit them, the more damage you're doing. So just poking them and then running away is not going to help the other ADC in the long run, especially if they're playing Teemo as a jungler.
That's true. But you know what? With my ergot, I figured out how to go around it. But there are a lot of Teemo players that not only do they figure out how to beat me, they know that my skills are better, but they end up beating me by two things: farming and items.
That's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Timo is a good champion. I respect that champion. Like champions like Set, for example, like these are the kind of champions that I would be like, no, you are a cheap champion and you're a cheap player.
My gosh, playing against this set, especially when he's fully powered up and level 18, that's terrifying because this guy is a bruiser and he's a tank. So I think it's unfair that he gets to be both. But that's just because when he says this is going to hurt, you know it's going to hurt.
Listen, there was a whole season where I literally only kept on banning Set because because no, I'll tell you, from the day that they launched that character, he was so OP. It
he
was
was, he was.
He was so OP. The damage that he would do, he would literally just charge. He would start off with his E, so his E is the charge. He would go in and then hits you with the Q, drags you to him, and then keeps on hitting you, and then just the point where his life is about to go down, launches his armor.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
then
had that problem with Olaf. Oh gosh, playing against an Olaf that you think you're at the end of everything, or
yeah,
a Tryndamere. I respect people who play those two champions because you know that there's a surprise waiting. You think you've got everything under control, and then they out, and then it's either you make sure you have an ADC that can bring them down before they do a lot of damage,
okay.
or you just run for your life.
All right, well, Roma, listen, we need to sort out, you need to sort out, or I need to sort out, try to figure out a way how to sort out the whole server situation, because you and I, we need to connect and play together,
We need to play. We need to
and
play.
we need to
Yes,
put down.
I'll play. I'll play support for you. Let's do this. Play Misfortune bot lane. I'll play either a Nami or a Lulu or
Okay,
even a Karma, because with those three champions, I've got everything. I've got shield, heal, and I've got speed. So get into the habit of playing. Oh, Zoro. Okay. So get into the habit of playing Misfortune as an ADC, and I will support the heck out of you. Okay.
okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Giant tidal waves. I'll throw giant tidal waves at people with Nami. And I'll speed you towards a Penta.
So I got a question. I had a
Mm-hmm.
question on Facebook from a username Omar Al Yaqubi. Big shout out to you,
Okay.
bro, man. Thank you so much for supporting and participating. So Omar is saying a question to the both of us. So
Mm-hmm.
tell us your like a boss moment, basically where you just owned the competition and felt pretty good about yourself. So we'll start with the ladies first. Roma,
Mm-hmm.
tell us about your like a boss
Like
moments. Like a boss
like a
moment.
boss. Okay, I think my biggest, and this is not me getting a pentakill. There have been a few of those, but for me, my like a boss moment is when I do the role that has been assigned to me and I do it very well. So I think what's coming at the top of my mind is when is actually the first time somebody asked me to marry them online. I was playing LOL and I wasn't playing with my friends. I was playing with this team of people that I didn't know
Oh my God.
until the end, until we started having a really, really good connection. We were all on the same wavelength. So my ADC was playing a Caitlyn and I was playing Nami, and she was on a roll. I think it was no, 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 it wasn't a she. Sorry, when I say she, I mean Caitlyn, but it was a guy who was playing her. So this guy was dominating the rift. And I think the only thing we had to fear at that one point was the enemy jungler, which was a Rengar. Rengars terrify me. Rengars are just
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
terrible. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So they're easy enough to kill once you see them, but when they jump out at you, it's this moment where you think your heart has stopped, especially if you're a very squishy support. So
yeah.
I was playing Nami, and this ADC was doing absolutely well. And I knew that towards the end, she was going to be very, very vulnerable, and I had to keep her alive no matter what. So, and the enemy champion was also playing a Caitlyn. So, here's the thing I said, okay, let's see who has the better ADC at this point. So, what happened was that I saw she was rushing into a fight towards the end, and I told this guy, be careful, be careful. I can't see the enemy ADC.
Mhm.
And we got ganked by the jungler. We managed to bring him down, but her health took a very serious beating. And that's when I see the Caitlyn ult on her. And I'm too far away to get in front. And I knew that if I got in front, I was dead. So I
Yeah,
said, okay, only one thing for it. I flashed in front of her, took the Caitlyn shot, died, felt my heart break, but the ADC lived. And
like
that's when the rest of the team came in and we won the game. So that was my like a boss moment. It was painful because I wasn't there to witness them breaking down the Nexus because I hadn't respawned. But that was my like a boss moment. And that's when this guy said, Nami, marry me.
that's what you got.
That was amazing.
Isn't that the most amazing thing about League of Legends is that there's like this insane love-hate relationship and the impact it has on you. Like literally, yes, if I was in that person's shoe and you did that, I would literally want to be spamming proposals. Send me location. I will send you the ring. um,
That is true. That is true. There's we're fond of saying that there's a lot of salt in this game. There definitely is, but it does have its sweet moments. This was one of them. So that was my like a boss moment. Others would be when I got my first pentakill. I was playing as what was I playing as? Misfortune. So first, my first pentakill was with Misfortune. My second pentakill was with the Lux, which was even more amazing because
yeah.
I got a double kill when there were two people on the tower. I managed to snare one of them and then I ulted. So both of them died and they said, okay, we're really pissed off. And this was happening in the chat. They said, okay, we're really pissed off, but that was impressive. So that was my like a boss moment. What about you?
Okay,
Talk to me about yours.
so I have two boss moments. The first time that I got a pentakill was last year. That was the first time. So imagine I've been playing League of Legends since 28, since 2017, 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018. And and I've only managed to got a pentakill like maybe once in my life, and that was last year.
Let me just
So
say it's become a lot more difficult to get pentakills. It's become a lot more difficult because you've
yeah,
got so many champs and you get champs that cancel out each other's abilities. So it's definitely more difficult to get a pentakill, especially if you're not with a set team like I am.
yeah.
If you've got a crew and the crew supports you 100%, it does become easier. Your chances of getting a pentakill increase quite substantially.
So there's this item that you buy, it gives you shield, and then when you activate it, your movement speed increases, and then once you reach to your enemy team, it throws out that it's like a burst, and then it slows all your enemy around, and then all the enemy team that's around you, it slows it down. I need to find out what that item is.
Oh, right. No, no, no. I know what you're talking about. The name is on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it exactly. But I know what you're talking about. Yes. Is it
Yeah,
randomly Zoman? Does it give you armor?
it gives you armor. Yeah, it's an armor.
Randomly Zoman. I think it's randomly Zoman.
What is it called again?
Randuin's Omen. Randuin. Randuin's Omen. I think that's what you're talking about. I
I
could be mistaken.
I think so. Hold on a second. Yeah. Randuin's Omen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
Yes, and
no,
then it has this
no, no, no.
Nope.
No, it's not that one. I'll tell you what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it changed.
So who were you playing?
I,
Yeah,
wa-
so who were you playing?
so I was playing Urgot. So here's what happened.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
The enemy team, they had killed three of our champions, and there was only two left, and the jungler and me.
Ooh.
So the jungler kept
So who
pinging.
was the jungler?
The jungler, I can't remember who was the jungler. I can't remember, but what I remember is that the jungler was pinging on Baron Nashor, saying that the enemy team is
We
going
need to take
after.
this.
We need to take
Oh,
this.
okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
So the enemy team did not know that there was one ward placed around Nashor. So while Nashor was and they were and
Lost you again, brother.
can you hear
Right
me?
in the middle of such an interesting story. Lost you again.
Can you hear me? Can you still hear me? No, not yet. Oh, a second. Maybe I'll try and hold on. Can you still hear
Got you
me?
back.
All right.
I got you back. Okay.
Nice, nice.
So Baron Nashor, yes.
So they didn't know that there was a ward that was placed on Nashor. So I could see, and
Ooh.
they had already taken damage from the fight that ended up killing three of our champions. So what I did
Mm-hmm.
is I activated that item and I rushed in, and you know I'm at level 13, so my an Urgot after level 9, your W it remains active. So
Mm-hmm.
just like a constant going machine gun. So I went in. I went for the first, the lowest health champion. Took him out, and then used my Q to take two champions out. So that's three. And then my jungler comes in and starts damaging the other two, where I managed to ulti one of them. So when I ultied that person, so Urgot, when you ulti, if an ulti is confirmed, it creates fear for 1 second around the its surroundings. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
so that last champion, he dashed through the wall behind Nashor to evade, and then as I am pulling the other person and activating the fear, I also
Mm-hmm.
dash behind him,
You went
and
after him.
I went after him, and I dashed behind him, and it creates that fear. Now, when it creates that fear, you're literally like stunned for a few seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and and I increase damage, and I have a damage increase, and I killed him, and I got a pentakill. That was the first time I got a pentakill. I felt it was the cheapest way of getting a pentakill, but you know
Nothing
what?
cheap about nothing cheap about jumping into a five man team fight while they're doing a Baron Nashor. So I wouldn't say there's anything cheap about this. There's so many ways that could have gone wrong, bro. There's so many ways that could have gone wrong, but it didn't. So
And Nashor
well deserved.
and Nashor, and we ended up getting that Nashor in the end of the day.
And you and if you get behind him, he does more damage. So that's another thing to consider.
The second one is for a while I had a fear, literally, and I'm not kidding, like fear, real scared, playing against Darius on top lane because
Oh, right.
because I just couldn't figure out how to beat him, and I lost so many
Mm-hmm.
games to in front of him, and I felt so angry about it. After watching a lot of videos, there's this YouTube channel called Domisum Replay. So it's
Mm-hmm.
DOMISUM. So it's called Domisum Replay. So what this YouTube channel does, if you have a specific champion that you want to main and you want to learn and understand how to uh, choose the abilities and the items and so on, like that YouTube channel really helped me understand how to play and improve my gameplay with Urgot. So I kept on watching a lot of plays on how to beat Darius, and then when I did, I remember the first time I played against this dude, I made his life a living hell. He kept on inting because he's Darius. He thinks that he can int. So he kept on
Mm-hmm.
inting, and then I kept on killing him, getting him, and killing him until he literally just rage quit. He just disconnected. I remember what Well,
Seriously?
yeah, he disconnected.
Oh.
That was the first time I made somebody, a Darius player, disconnect. That was literally the first time. So yeah, those were
He probably recognized the pure awesomeness and he said, I ain't wasting any more time on this.
yeah, man. But that's what's nice about League of Legends. That there's always room for you to play. There's always room for you to learn and play new characters. Roma,
Mm-hmm.
dude,
Yes.
listen. Thank you so much. Like I know I took so much of your time. It's almost
Oh
midnight.
no, 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 no. It's cool. It's cool. I'm
It,
gonna go have a midnight snack after this. So
it's almost midnight. And for us people, it's all about. And for us people in our age, it's always about the midnight snack, and then enjoying a few hours of
it's
sleep.
still early for me, dude. You never know. I might just go on League of Legends after this and play a few games.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort out my whole region situation. Because I don't know why it's so annoying that if you want to change your region, you have to pay money. I
You
don't get
have
it.
to. I know it's so frustrating, and that's the biggest reason I haven't done it because I feel that it's kind of a ripoff. I don't have to pay just for playing with my friends in other regions, and I don't know why there's not a feature that you can't play with people from different parts of the world. I mean, what because for me, when I first joined, I just picked a region at random. I didn't realize it would have this big an effect if I wanted to play with other people. It was only when I actually bought my first recharge card and they asked me what region. And then I said, does it matter? And they said, yeah, you can't play. And I remember, I think this was at Virgin Megastore, was it? No, 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 no. I think this was at GK Games. And when I asked them for a League of Legends recharge card because I wanted to get a couple of cool skins, and they told me, yeah, which region. That's when I've realized that there's a lot more to the region than I had originally thought. Because for me, it was just, which region are we playing? We're playing this region. Okay, everybody, if you're making an account, make sure it's on this region. So that was kind of sad.
Yeah, but you know what? I think like I mean, I really hope that they sort it out. By the way, did you know that they're removing the all chat feature?
Yes, I've heard about that. So that's, I don't know how that's going to work in our favor because not everybody is on the voice and not everybody has Discord. By the way, if you're looking for people to play with, Discord might be a good place to find them, but you might run into some crazy people. So fair warning.
I mean, the reason why they're doing it, so basically you cannot, so if you wanna flame, or you wanna, cause whatever kind of havoc that you wanna create to the enemy team, you can't chat with the enemy team. So Riot took that decision because they wanted to reduce the level of toxicity in the game.
True, true. But what
But
if I want to say that I really like your gamer name? Some people have really funny names. I saw somebody who was hot pancakes or something, and I'm like, do you have something against cold pancakes? So so we had a discussion about pancakes, and this was an enemy jungler that I was talking to.
Or, or,
So
or it could be like a good camaraderie. Like, for example, you play against
mm-hmm,
somebody and he's doing really well, and you acknowledge the fact that you lost because that person really
mm-hmm.
outplayed you. So you want to say
True,
that.
true. I mean, and a lot of people don't stay for the after chat, so it's kind of sad that that happens. If I want to call out an enemy who really made my life a living hell in that match, I'd be like, I don't like you, but well played.
Yeah, actually, the after chat is still gonna be the same, so it's not gonna change. But in the game,
Nobody
it's
uses it. Hardly anybody uses it unless they want to flame their own teammates for being a bad player or being salty or something like that. Hardly anybody stays for the after chat afterwards.
yeah. I kind of feel like they should have done that to the team chat, not to the all chat, because in the team chat, that's where all the flaming takes place.
True, true. Yeah, that's true.
Roma, listen, dude, I wanted to say thank you so much for being here, for supporting me on this. I wanted to let you know
Mm-hmm.
that this will be one of many conversations that you and I will
Many.
have.
We should do this again. True, true. We
Definitely,
should do this again. A friend of
definitely.
mine actually just messaged and he says, "Oh, I'm here. I'm on Twitch." And again, he's also a dad, recent dad.
Oh, no
So
way.
yes, Riz, I see you, Nooblet. Yes, we should meet up soon.
Dad gamers, mom gamers, girl
Dad
gamers.
gamers. There's a lot of dad gamers in my life. I
Yeah,
wonder
man.
what that is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this whole thing is about. I wanted to
I'm
thank.
a gamer godma. I'm a gamer godmother. I should get that on a t-shirt. Yes, I should get that on a t-shirt.
That should be a really good gamer godmother. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I can
But
start, another. I can start another. I can get into another region under that tag. If you see that, that's probably me.
but yeah, yeah, but definitely like because there's a lot that there's a lot to discuss, you know, and especially for the
True,
gaming
true.
community, there's a lot going on. I look forward to some of the pop culture activities that are taking place in the coming months. Pop C, I got my eyes on you guys. Let's see how that goes. MEFCC also next year in Abu Dhabi. Roma, thank you so much. Yeah, so always in the crossfire just commented and says, yes, he wants you to teach his kids or her kids. Yeah, teach my kids.
Teach my kids. I'm pretty sure their daddy is going to do a fabulous job of doing that. But yes, if it is an honor he will grant me, I am more than happy to take on that. I'm more than happy to take on that role. Yes.
Also, thank you
Can
to
I dress? Can I dress your little girl as a baby Yoda for our next cosplay?
Baby Yoda. Come on, let's make that happen. Always in the
Mm-hmm.
crossfire. We need to make that happen.
Yes.
Um, I wanted to thank also everybody who actually supported me. Actually, I just want to say this, Roma. This
Mm-hmm.
particular thing that I did not even promote it on. I didn't even put a budget on it. But the amount of support that I got and people that came in, thank you for your help with that also, and thank you to every single person that actually came in and contributed and supported me on this. You know, I say this all the time. I cannot do this if it's not for you guys. Like if you guys, I'm doing this for you because I know that this is something that you guys should know about. Hopefully, in more conversations to come, we will have much, much, much more to talk about. So thank you to everybody. Roma, signing
Mm-hmm.
off. Anything you want to say? Anything? Any last words?
I'm just going to reiterate what you said. Everybody who sent in questions was wonderful. I hope we answered them to your satisfaction. We're looking forward to many more questions that you guys might have. So let's keep this momentum going. And I'm looking forward to doing this again with you. So lots of love.
Roma
Can't do
Saddaqat.
this.
You
Kind
can't
of
do
sad. Can't do this.
that. But I feel
So
it. I feel the love.
yes.
I feel the love. I feel the
All
love.
right.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much, Roma. Thank you so much. Everybody, enjoy your good night and enjoy your Saturday. And I'll see you guys on next weekend stream. Peace.
Take care, people. Take